It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Can we talk about this town, though? You've brought it up a few times.
Yes.
This is the single most generically quaint, small, adorable sort of town, like middle America. Is it the same place that they shoot Stars Hollow, like Gilmore Girls? It's the Gilmore Girls town, right?
Oh, no. It's not Stars Hollow.
There are some similarities.
It is. Okay.
It's also the same town as that Christmas Hallmark rom-com, Tinseltown, Christmasville, Pennsylvania, whatever it is.
Oh, you're just
just
guessing at the name.
because,
Okay, I was gonna
it's
say.
ridiculous.
I was going to say I don't think that's right, but it's sad that I know that.
I was gonna say, like, is it close to being right though?
Yes,
I think it is.
so.
I'll take a 0.5.
It's a good guess.
Okay. Welcome to the Rom-Com Rewind Podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah,
And I'm Devin.
and I love rewatching movies over and over again.
And I love romantic comedies.
So this is a show where we rewatch rom-coms, break them down a bit for you, maybe take a peek behind the curtain, dig beneath the surface, and decide, does it still hold up?
Today we have
Runaway Bride.
And we are now a part of Stingray Podcast Network, so you can check us out, stingraypodcast.com. You can also see some of our friends there as well. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Please follow us on Spotify so you're updated when new episodes come out. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts if you want. And if you want input on what our next movie should be, follow us on Instagram at Romcom Rewind. So, Runaway Bride is directed by Gary Marshall. This man is rom-com royalty. He also did Pretty Woman. He did Valentine's Day, Raising Helen, Georgia Rule, The Princess Diaries 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, he did do Princess Diaries. I love those movies.
Right? So The Runaway Bride is the story of our girl Maggie Carpenter, played by Julia Roberts. I feel like I should edit in a harp sound every time we say Julia Roberts because I love her so much. So Maggie has gotten kind of famous. She's been engaged 3 times. And 3 times at the wedding ceremony, she runs away at the last minute, like right at the altar. So she's gotten like low-level famous in America. Hence, everyone calls her the Runaway Bride.
She likes to dump grooms right at the altar. Plows down the aisle, knocking old ladies out of her way like the running of the bulls in Pamplona.
I'm profoundly and irreversibly screwed up.
I have been accused of using this column to direct bitter diatribes at the opposite sex.
Then we have Ike. He's played by our guy, Richard Gere. Ike is a New York City columnist searching for a story for his next column. And he hears this story about Maggie Carpenter, the Runaway Bride. And Ike decides to essentially write a slam piece about her. And some of it turns out to be pretty inaccurate. Maggie read the article, got upset, and she lets Ike's bosses know, hey, this guy lied all over this piece, so they end up firing him. But in a final act of retribution, Ike and his former boss decide, hey, you know what? Maggie is about to get married, potentially to a 4th guy. How about you go to her town, you interview some people, you really build out this story, and when she runs away, you get to write a fully sourced article about how you were right the entire time, and we get to hire you back. Spoiler alert. Ike goes to Maggie's town to write the article. And ladies and gentlemen, sparks fly. What are your thoughts on Runaway Bride?
So I hadn't watched this movie in like a really long time. So it was basically, I was watching it for the first time.
Hey, oh man, I'm jealous of you.
Yeah, it was so good.
I watched this so much with my older sister.
I love this movie.
This is so typical of 90s romantic comedies. Like the acting's actually fantastic.
It is, yeah.
Julia Roberts in these types of roles, she has this magnetism to her. Like her smile, I made fun of her smile in the other episode, but it's when she's smiling, I can't not smile, you know?
It's true. She's such a great actress, and like the movie is so fun to watch. There's not too much going on, but there's just enough that it's like, oh my God, this is so fantastic.
Yeah, and here's the thing, the plot, can we be real? When you really break it down, it's not awesome. There are some definite holes in this plot, but it's Julia Roberts and Richard Gere, guys, and it's the 90s. So I don't really care about all that other stuff. I just love her and her acting so much that it's like I'm I'm in. I'm all in on this.
So in Ike's first article about Maggie, he compares her to a demon. Says that it's her seventh man that she's left at the altar, that she has another man already lined up, a man-eater. She is a man-eater.
Right.
That in ancient Greece, this fearsome female was known as Eriness, the devouring death goddess. And in India, she is known as Kali, who works to devour her boyfriend Shiva's entrails. And it continues on from there. In Indonesia, the bloody-jawed man-eater named Ragma. Then he calls her out saying her name, like in the newspaper, Maggie Carpenter, a.k.a. the Runaway Bride, says she likes to dress up her men as grooms before she devours them. That is a lot.
He was really over the top.
Yes.
Can I point out something about the article, and something I also really like subtly about this movie is the soundtrack. Because the movie opens, it's you two still haven't found what I'm looking for, and if you remember that scene, Maggie is literally riding a horse away from her former prospective husband. They also play the Chicks, Ready to Run, but more importantly, do you remember the song that was playing when Ike is traveling to this town?
No.
It was the song Man-Eater.
Oh, really?
So I found it really funny that he finds all these eloquent ways to call her a man-eater in the article, and then when he actually needs to travel to the town, they play the song Man-Eater.
I like it. That's so funny. So her and Bob. Bob is her not seventh or eighth, but her fourth. They are getting married. Her fourth trip down the aisle.
Hard to keep track sometimes.
It is. It is. It's her fourth trip down the aisle. Really, at what point does counting matter anymore?
At what point do weddings matter?
Right. Like just go to the courthouse and get it over with.
Bingo. Yeah. Why do we need these big elaborate things if there's a good chance she's not going to show up or something's going to happen?
So they're going on a honeymoon after they get married to go hiking in the Himalayas. The backpack, there's a scene where she puts on the backpack to try it on for weight, and it's so heavy that she basically like falls over
She
backwards.
topples over, yeah.
I feel like this has happened to me while we've gone backpacking.
Well, yeah, it's funny. We've gone backpacking, and your pack is bigger than my pack.
It is.
Doesn't really make sense. We should probably switch packs at some
Well,
point.
I pack more clothes than you.
You do. That's right, yeah.
And it becomes heavier, which you eventually end up carrying. So what are your thoughts on the honeymoon spot? So I think this would be a trip for an adventurous couple, no doubt. But since Bob is such a sport buff, I would have thought that this would not be his go-to honeymoon. I would have thought that he would have gone to a series of sports events across America or something, or even across the world, going to see a really cool soccer game or just something else, not a big hike in the Himalayas.
Well, and you're not wrong, because for both of them, think about there was that scene where Maggie is at the baseball game and Peggy's husband gets a run batted in. So they're like, whoa, so amped up. So it's clear that Maggie actually does at least baseball.
Yeah.
And Bob is a high school football coach. We can find some common ground that's not the fucking Himalayas, right?
Well, yeah, and I mean,
a baseball game.
I think every single one of Bob's lines had something to do with a sport metaphor.
Right. It was, oh man, Kay, that was my favorite thing. We're like, how you feeling about the wedding, Bob? He's like, we're working on focusing. Yeah. We're picturing the end zone. The altar's the end zone. We're visualizing it. We're visualizing the ball going into the cup.
I'm spiraling through the air. I am streaking toward the goal line.
It really, honestly, yeah, Bob's one of my favorite characters. I feel bad for Bob. Poor Bob got done dirty.
Oh, poor Bob. So I can't believe that all of her Runaway Bride moments were filmed on camera.
Oh, totally.
Right?
I mean, it was the 90s. They took camcorder video of everything.
Yes, they were everywhere. All your Thanksgiving dinners, your Christmas, your everything.
I did notice the multiple angles kind of threw me off a little bit. That was a little bit okay, these are clearly not.
Yeah, how many cameras did you have? And who edited them all together? Yeah. I felt bad for her, but I also thought it was very odd that when she goes home on the day after work, she finds Ike sitting there with her family watching said Runaway Bride moments.
Can we break down which run away from the altar is the best? So
Okay.
let's break them down right now. We've got 3. We've got Gil, who now owns an auto repair shop. He was a musician.
Mm-hmm.
So in this scene, Gil is actually on stage performing. And like when Maggie walks out down the aisle, him and his band are on a stage performing.
So weird.
Come on, dude. Like, really? There's also a trampoline midway down the aisle. So Maggie needs to stop and jump on the trampoline and jump off.
Yeah.
And then once she gets to the altar, well, sorry, not an altar. It was a stage once again. She literally just turns around and walks off the back of the stage.
Yeah.
So that's option A.
Well, no. You have to remember, she jumps on a motorcycle. I think that's key.
Oh my God, I forgot the
She
motorcycle.
jumps on a motorcycle and takes off
Yes.
with like some random guy who she knows, obviously, because it's a small town and everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, they take off on a motorcycle.
So that gets some consideration. Then there's the church flyby. Maggie was supposed to marry Brian, who's now a church priest.
Yeah.
She gets to the end of the aisle and literally just slowly walks past him. Like she gets within a couple feet of him and just continues on by, back down the aisle. One of the ring bearer boys grabs her dress and she ends up dragging him. You know how we ghost people on like via technology now?
Yeah.
She did like a real life in your face ghost.
She did.
Like I'm
and
here and
everybody
now I'm
knew.
gone and I'm not even going to say anything about it. I'm just walking on by.
And every single person knew about it.
Yeah, and then there's Bug Guy George.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
It's actually the first scene in the movie is her leaving.
Yeah.
Well, like her riding away. But they get to the altar. Maggie's on a horse. And it's like, you know this woman's history. Why would you put her on a literal vehicle where she can leave with?
That's such a good point.
Like, why would you give her the horse so then she rides off on the horse? So which one's the best?
I think the horse is pretty cool. Like, I think it's pretty good. It's the opening scene of the movie.
It is the opening scene of the movie, seeing a bride riding away on a horse.
The altar, no, that's probably like the third.
Really?
I think it is pretty crazy. Like
I loved just the
I thought it
reaction
was
of how
really
she kind of
funny.
looks at him and just
Yeah, she's like, no, no, thank you.
Yeah, she hit him with a low key like, you know what?
Yeah,
No thanks.
I'm okay.
I'm fine.
I'm
fine.
okay today. No, thank you. Yeah, I would say probably the motorcycle though, because that was just very chaotic. Like the trampoline, then the crowd
there was
surfing,
a lot of action, yeah.
and then getting up there, and then realizing that she didn't want to, and then jumping on the back of some random guy's like it was a dirt bike.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then taking off. I think that was just very chaotic and pretty crazy.
Okay, scenario. You're at a wedding. You're just kind of in the parking lot around the corner, and the bride comes running out and is like, "Start the car! I gotta get out of here." What do you do?
Start the car and get out of there.
What? Really?
I think, yeah. Why
I
wouldn't
definitely
you?
have like a moral dilemma of like maybe you guys should have a fucking conversation about this and not just run away from the guy.
Well, that's true. Maybe if I was like, I feel like you're just like in the heat of the moment. You're like, oh my god, okay, and you just like go, and then you realize only after, as everything's like clicking in, oh my god, I just drove this person away from their wedding.
It's fucked up.
Totally
It's really messed up.
So to get more info about Maggie for his article, he goes and visits each of the almost grooms,
Yes.
the left at the altarees. So I found
Is that what we're calling them?
I don't know. I guess so.
The losers. You can call them the losers. Oh, I know. Bob, I feel bad saying that to Bob.
Yeah, because he never saw it coming. Well, he should have, though. Anyway, so I found it odd that Maggie was still relatively on good terms with all of them.
Because Julia Roberts has this magnetism. It's like, I can't hate her even if she did.
Well, and I think like
Leave me at the
Maggie
altar.
did too, right? Like, is this a small town thing too? Anyway, in talking...
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
So in talking to Brian Norris, so like he's the one that gets becomes a priest after,
Mm-hmm.
I starts to find like trends with Maggie that she seems to take on personalities of her significant others and kind of loses herself in the mix. Like I thought to myself, she must have had an impact on them too, though, if they can still be friends with her. I mean, like, did Brian say like, oh my god, if I can't have her, I'm gonna become a
I can only have
priest?
God now.
Right?
if I can't have Julia Roberts, then I might as well be celibate for the rest of my life.
Very forgiving, that one.
Oh, God. That's so funny. Can we talk about this town, though? You've brought it up a few times.
Yes.
This is the single most generically quaint, small, adorable sort of town, like middle America. I feel like every single Hallmark movie from 2012 to 2020 has been set in one of these towns. Is it the same place that they shoot Stars Hollow, like Gilmore Girls? It's the Gilmore Girls town, right?
Oh, no. It's not Stars Hollow.
There are some similarities.
It is, yes.
We're going to get back to that.
Okay.
It's also the same town as that Christmas Hallmark rom-com, Tinseltown, Christmasville, Pennsylvania, whatever it is.
Oh, you're just guessing at the name.
Because,
okay, I was going to
it's
say
ridiculous.
I was going to say I don't think that's right. But it's sad that I know that.
I was going to say, like, is it close to being right though?
Yes,
I think it is.
So.
I'll take a 0.5.
It's a good guess.
Okay.
So she finally decides that she literally can't get rid of Ike, that he is just always around, showing up everywhere. So if you can't beat him, join him. She makes a deal with him that she will let him interview her and follow her around if he gives her $1,000. They negotiate, get it down to $650, so she can buy her dream dress for the upcoming wedding with Bob. I just laugh now in retrospect.
Is Bob such a joke to you that you can't say his name without laughing?
So Ike agrees.
Poor Bob.
And so then he follows her around town.
What's that show he's on? Can you believe that Maggie Carpenter screwed him up so much that he's like, nah, I just got to chase down criminals on Law and Order for the rest of my life. I just got to
He was on that show for a really
drug
long
dealers
time.
in the face. It's all that will bring me joy now.
So Ike and Maggie make it back to Maggie's house, and turns out she kept all of her engagement rings.
That's messed up.
Yes, she even names the rings after her previous fiancés.
Right.
Right? So Brian's is a beautiful solitaire diamond ring.
Mm.
She literally calls it, Brian is a beautiful solitaire diamond ring. Like, the ring is named Brian. Anyway.
Right. That's creepy.
Gil.
And Gills, of course.
Is what looks like, to me, a silver ring that's in the shape of a rose, like their tattoos that they both got, supposedly.
Yeah.
George, his is a unique ring, a round, low-set diamond with other smaller diamonds around it. He proposed at a butterfly farm.
He proposed at a butterfly farm in St. Thomas. The ring was inside a cocoon.
A little too Silence of the Lambs for my taste, but...
Well, he's an entomologist.
And finally, Bob's. Bob is a small diamonds in the shape of a number 1. He proposed during the 7th inning of an Oriole game. The scoreboard lit up with "Marry Me, Maggie."
Oh, see, that's why they can't go on their honeymoon to a baseball game, because he already proposed at a baseball game. You
Yeah,
gotta
but
vary
they can
that
go
up.
to sportsing events.
Sportsing together.
Sportsing.
Can I bring up, around this point in the movie, Peggy, Maggie's best friend, hits Maggie with a little wee truth bomb that I think is very accurate.
Okay.
First, she says that because Maggie was like flirting with her husband. And she said that Maggie spazzes out with all of this excess flirtatious energy, and it just ends up landing on any male that moves. We all know people like that who just flirt with guys, not because they want anything to happen, but just, flirtatious things sprout up. But then Peggy also says that Maggie is charming and mysterious. Maggie says, well, you are too. And Peggy says, no, I'm weird. Weird and mysterious are two different things, and also quirky and weird are also two very different things. And I think we need to break this down with some examples, because I think it is very true. Like the quirky, weird, mysterious, weird. As soon as she said quirky and mysterious, I'm like, oh, well, that's Zooey Deschanel, right? New girl? She's quirky and mysterious.
Jess.
But then you cross the line into weird and mysterious, and that's your Aubrey Plaza. That's what's her face from Parks and Rec, right?
Yes.
Where she'd be like, the neighbor's microwave is too loud, so I broke in last night and I broke it and I don't feel bad about it. It's like, you are mysterious, but you're definitely weirder about it. And I think both are fine.
I think that's a really good comparison. So Maggie and Ike head to the bridal shop to buy her dress. And the lady at the store tells Maggie that spending $1,000 on a dress is a lot, especially when she wears them for only 10 minutes.
Burn!
Yeah, I was like, oh, she should buy the dress she wants. But then I was like, oh, she only does wear them for 10 minutes.
If you're being fiscally responsible,
right?
I would also say the $300 dress or whatever.
But she did just get $650 from Ike.
So she wants to spend that money on the Belle dress.
Yeah. So the other dress is only $300. And, I mean, it's nice, too. But she ends up getting the $1,000 dress.
Of course.
Because it swings like a bell.
And also, this might be ruining one of your quick facts.
Okay.
But isn't that a throwback to the Pretty Woman scene where Julia
no,
Roberts goes into the shop?
I don't have it as my...
And they don't want to serve her because they don't think she has enough money?
I don't have it as a quick fact. While Ike is waiting for Maggie, he starts talking to Maggie's grandmother and her friend. So Maggie shows up and is listening to their conversation. Her grandmother tells Ike that the reason she keeps running is because she isn't afraid of the wedding, but instead she's afraid of the wedding night. Innocent girls are terrified of the one-eyed snake. And on her wedding night, the Jima's wedding night, she took a knitting needle to bed just in case.
You love that, eh?
I think that's ridiculous. Oh, Maggie obviously lets her know, like, sorry, Grandma. Like, that was a long time ago. I'm not afraid of one-eyed
Yeah, no,
snake.
this is, that was many, many guys ago, so.
So we all remember the hula party, right?
It was the rehearsal dinner?
It was the rehearsal dinner that one of the ladies decided, the whole town is at, and it's put on by one of the ladies. I think they do this possibly every wedding.
The entirety of Stars Hollow showed up.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't see Lorelai in the background, but
Hale Town, right? Anyway, I felt so bad for Maggie. They all get up one at a time and basically say some crappy joke about how she's going to run or what's new this time type of thing. Ike steps in and says,
yeah, I hope all of your mistakes get rubbed in your own noses kind of deal. Yeah.
But Maggie is humiliated. Like, she runs off. Would you have been humiliated if somebody came to bat for you? Like, I feel like she is the laughing stock of the town, and she just kind of goes with it, goes with the flow. And when finally Ike stands up for her, she doesn't like it.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like, she's so used to people making fun of her and cracking jokes that I think she's kind of like, if I just smile and laugh along, there's no conflict, it's all right. And then Ike creates that conflict by basically telling everybody the way it is and that it's like, you're being shitty to her. And she doesn't like that because I think, oh my God, are we getting down to something right now? I think Maggie Carpenter just doesn't like conflict in her life. That's why she can't tell any of the grooms ahead of time, hey, this is a bad idea, I'm probably going to run away.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
She just gets to the moment and pieces out.
I would agree. I think you're right.
But then after that moment, she does have the confidence to talk to her dad. She's like, listen, you're an alcoholic. You're kind of a piece of shit. I'm paraphrasing, obviously.
Yep.
Stop making fun of me kind of thing.
So the day has come for Maggie to attempt to complete her 4th wedding and walk down the aisle.
Yes.
But to Ike?
My boy Bob got done so dirty.
So I'll preface that Bob was again left at an altar.
Right, it was just the day before.
And instead, her and Ike decide that they have fallen in love in a very short time and want to get married, which is very spontaneous. So of course, she almost makes it there, and a flash of a camera from somebody in the crowd sends her into a tailspin, and she dashes from the church again, this time making her getaway in a FedEx delivery truck.
Great product placement for FedEx.
Abso-freaking-lutely. So I was so hoping that she made it down the aisle this time.
Yeah, I know. Because you had seemingly forgotten all about this movie, and Sarah's looking at me, and she's like, does she make it down this time? And in my head, I'm like, are you kidding? Like, obviously not. This is one of the best scenes in the movie.
Lock the doors! Go, Maggie, go!
Yeah, like, I don't understand how
Then Ike's like, close the doors!
I don't understand how she keeps convincing men to marry her.
It's because Julia Roberts, and it's that smile. Can I point out one small hole in this movie, though? And it happens right before this moment.
Okay.
It's how Ike and Maggie agree, yeah, let's get married. after only knowing each other for like 20 minutes, also the wedding is going to happen in like 36 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And then we get this very fast sprawl of what I would call like relationship building montage. It's like clips of them playing cards together.
I remember this.
Do you remember playing cards? Because that's what couples used to do before phones existed, by the way. He calls her while she's like at the salon, and he's like, I see this very beautiful woman at the salon. And she tells her friends, like, he can see me. And then I think there's like a fireplace scene, and it's really powerful. Like, hey, this relationship is growing, but don't forget, this is like a day and a half.
All within 36 hours.
Yeah, no.
It is a little strange. Like, I think they tried to cram the fact that they could get married without making it weird.
Yeah. And once again, it's one of those things where this movie is so good that I know it's stupid, and when I'm watching it, I'm like, this is stupid, but I can't help but love it. I don't know what it's...
I know. It's a feel-good movie, right?
It's Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. I just can't not love this.
You're rooting for them.
Yeah.
I love it. Maggie finally takes some time to figure out who she is. She's tried all the different types of eggs she can and decides which one she loves. So are eggs a metaphor for her finding who she loves? Like, she loves Eggs Benedict and she loves Ike.
I think it's more just finding yourself, right? Like, a lot of times when people are in long relationships, they just kind of need to be single for like...
I don't think she was in any type of long relationship.
No, but I think that's kind of where it is, where it's like you need to know who you are before you can know the right person to complete your life. Or not to complete your life, but to be the cherry on top of it, right?
Right, so it's taking the time to find out what eggs you like and then finally figuring that out.
It's her learning who she is.
Right.
Can we talk about how, so, you know, she takes over everybody's egg
personality? Let's call it that. The egg personality.
I think minuscule things like that do happen in relationships. Like, is there anything you took from an ex that legitimately became part of your personality?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think because they're so micro, you don't realize it.
So I know one vividly.
That you took?
Oh, yeah. It was a very formative time. Like, it was an early relationship. I think I was 13.
Oh, my God.
And this girl really liked emo, screamo, metal music.
Oh, my God.
And I was pretty, I liked a wide range of music, but I genuinely became a metalhead for like 3 years, dyed my hair black. The relationship was like 6 months, but this carried over to the point where it's like, if Alexis on Fire are jamming out, I know exactly, like, oh, that was this album, this song, love this guitar solo coming up. So good. You know, it's now a part of who I was.
Well, that's deep.
That is.
Anyway, so she goes to New York to see Ike, and she gives him her running shoes. It's another metaphor that she's done running and wants to be with him.
And then she says the quote that he said to her.
Well, yes,
earlier on in the movie, right?
Yes, because he's still unsure, and which she's actually in this scene really happy about, because then she gets to propose to him with the same words that he said to her in the middle of the movie.
That's right.
I guarantee that we'll have tough times. And I guarantee that at some point, one or both of us will want to get out. But I also guarantee that if I don't ask you to be mine, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. Because I know in my heart, you're the only one for me.
I love it. On to Quick Facts.
Quick Facts!
This is another movie that was in pre-production for a very long time, a decade, and had many potential people set up to play the role before Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. Can you guess who some of the actors and actresses who were set to play the role?
Okay, so we're spanning the entire 90s.
Yeah, let's start out around, like, first up, 1992.
I mean, like, Demi Moore would have been big around then.
Okay.
Is that a yes?
That is yes.
Hey!
That is a yes. Ding!
You know what? I'll take the win. That's my guess. Demi Moore, and I am right, and you can't take that away from me.
Okay,
so who else?
So I'll just go over a few. So Gina Davis and Harrison Ford were set to play in 1992.
Gina Davis, don't love that.
I like Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford makes sense, though. Yeah,
he would have been good. Then over the next few years, Michael Douglas, Demi Moore,
hey,
Ellen DeGeneres, and Mel Gibson were in the mix to play the roles.
Interesting choices.
Totally. So in 1996, Sandra Bullock was set to play, but in the end, she just decided against it.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, it would have been good. And then Ben Affleck and Thea Leone were in talks to take over, but then Ben passed on the role. And then producers decided to ask Richard Gere. He would only do it, though, if Julia Roberts did it.
Oh, they're so cute.
So it took some convincing, though, because she had actually read an earlier version of the script and didn't love it. So she said no. But he gave her a call and they chatted and she decided to do it. They even got Gary Marshall to direct.
Oh, so he wasn't the original director?
No, he wasn't. So that also took some major convincing, though, because he was supposed to go on vacation with his wife to Australia, which he had promised. But Julia Roberts and Richard Gere convinced him to do it. Guess how much the budget was for this movie?
Oh, man, it's probably surprisingly small. I would say the actors took up the majority of the budget.
So $70 million.
What? What did they spend it on?
So this was literally because of Roberts and Gere.
Right, yeah, it's going to be mostly how much money they asked for.
So Julia earned $17 million. Richard Gere got $12 million.
That's especially if we're talking about equality in Hollywood in terms of wage pay. Julia Roberts makes this movie.
Yeah, so the movie opened up number 1 at the box office and grossed $35 million, the best opening ever for a Julia Roberts film at the time.
Okay.
The town of Berlin, Maryland, was used for the movie, turning it into the town of Hale, Maryland. It put close to $1 million into the local economy, real estate, took off with just exploded, and it doubled the tourism after the release of the movie. Runaway Bride grossed over $150 million domestically and $300 million worldwide, becoming a blockbuster hit.
And they made back that $70 million they paid.
Heck yes, and more. So the town actually held a Runaway Bride month in August to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the movie.
Oh, that's adorable. You know what? I can't even knock them because, you are the town from this movie. Live it up.
Roberts got to wear several different wedding gowns throughout this movie. Costume designer Albert Wolski actually designed and created the first 4 gowns, including the hippie-style crochet one. They made 3 copies of the crochet dress because of all the stunts required while wearing this dress. So the trampoline jumping, the crowd surfing, and the motorcycle getaway. So they needed multiple dresses of the same. Yeah. The organza gown that she finds in the window of the store, so the one that's $1,000, they only had 1 extra dress of this, and this was just in case the FedEx getaway ruined it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, whoa, this is juicy. In real life, Roberts was once accused of being a runaway bride when she called off her June 1991 nuptials that were set to take place on 20th Century Fox Soundstage 14 just 3 days before the wedding. Can you guess who the groom was?
Man, I'm trying to remember did she not date Brad Pitt, I want to say? Maybe that's wrong.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So she co-starred with him in Flatliners. She started dating him after calling off her engagement to Dylan McDermott, who was her Steel Magnolias love interest. Even more cray. When Julia Roberts called off the wedding to Kiefer Sutherland, she ran off with Jason Patric, Kiefer Sutherland's co-star in Lost Boys, and his good friend who had recently been disinvited to the wedding.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so guess where Roberts and Patrick went to hide out?
Like Fiji.
They went to Ireland.
Oh, adorable.
Yes. And then they made their relationship public, and then they broke up in 2002. So we all remember the platypus face that Maggie makes in the movie?
Okay, she looks like a really bad Pokemon.
Oh,
when she
does.
does the face.
Oh my God, she does.
In 99, Pokemon would have been a big deal. Yeah.
Oh my God, who does she look like? Psyduck?
Yeah, Psyduck, exactly.
She
That's
does
exactly
look
who
like
I was thinking.
Psyduck. Oh my
Psyduck
God.
or Golduck, right?
Yes.
We're nerding out pretty hard right now, but yeah.
We are, yep. Big time nerds, yep. Well, this wasn't actually in the original script. Marshall added it when he saw Julia do the face for his visiting grandchildren on set.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, I thought that was super cute. I said earlier that the movie took a while to happen. One of the reasons it was delayed was because the script didn't explain why Maggie continued to run from the altar.
Right.
So to help explain this, a key scene was added that highlighted Maggie's tendencies to pretend to be exactly what her partner wanted.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
to be rather than what she wanted to be. So the egg scene. So her figuring out, what kind of eggs really meant like who she was, finding out who she was. So this found Maggie preparing eggs in a number of ways to figure out which one she liked best. There's a scene where Maggie is driving through the town square and sees Ike playing guitar with some of the locals. Turns out Richard Gere can not only play the guitar, but he also wrote the part he was playing during that scene.
Really? Well, he was just kind of like blues guitar freestyling, right? So
Yeah. Maggie makes a reference to a Camp Birchwood before making the platypus face. Julia Roberts actually attended that camp as a child in northern Minnesota.
Now we're on to best scenes.
Best scene.
So my best scene is the very last scene we see before the credits roll. It's when Maggie actually gets married on this really picturesque hillside. It's literally just the two of them and the pastor. And I watched this movie for the first time and many times in some of my more formative years, like when I was a lot younger. And that scene has always stuck with me as like the most perfect, ideal way and also meaning to get married. And I don't want to like shame people who want to have like 3,000 people at their weddings, but like it's only really about the two people, or it should only be about those two people who love each other so much and they want to spend the rest of their lives with each other. And I just thought that was so pure to kind of wrap this movie up with a bow.
My best scene is the rehearsal at the church.
Whoo! Got lots to say about that. Continue on.
Okay, so Maggie and Bob are there for the rehearsal, and the next day they're going to get married. Ike tags along. They go into the church. Her bridesmaids walk down the aisle, and Bob is in his place as the groom. Ike is the minister or the priest.
Yeah, they tell him, you play the minister.
Yeah. Bob is standing there waiting for Maggie to come down the aisle. Instead, she's seen ringing the church bells and swinging back and forth, kind of out of control.
Yeah.
Bob says that instead, Ike should play the groom, and Bob will kind of coordinate, as he does in all of his sportsing. He will coordinate what's happening, so he'll make sure that Maggie is focused to get down that aisle.
Right.
Keep eye contact, keep eye contact.
Maggie walks down the aisle, and you can just see in her eyes, she is in love with Ike.
Yeah, she's staring at Ike.
Yes, she's completely staring at Ike. Bob's not even there. She gets there, and all of a sudden Bob says, and this is where you'd kiss the bride. Well, Ike and Maggie actually kiss.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bob is hurt, obviously.
Bob is hurt.
He runs
Bob's
out.
unhappy.
He runs out, says it's over, and all hell breaks loose.
Okay. So if you were imagining me, you did great. What the hell were you doing?
Bob, I'm really sorry about that. She kissed me back.
I kissed you back.
Yes, you did. You kissed me.
Yeah, caught that. You want to tell me how long this has been going on?
About a minute.
A little longer for me.
Really?
This goes right into my honorable mention.
Ooh, okay, I like it.
I want to tell you the story about the single most monumentally over character in any romantic comedy ever. It's the story of our friend Bob, played by Chris Maloney, the Law and Order guy. So yeah, you went through it. He was supposed to be Maggie's fourth attempted husband when Ike travels to Stars Hollow to write this story. And then their love finally manifests itself, not quietly late at night when nobody's around. Nah, Maggie and Ike kiss in front of Bob at the rehearsal to his own wedding at the altar of his prospective wedding. And like you said, Bob punches Ike and leaves.
Oh, yes, he punches him. Oh, my God, I completely forgot.
Pieces out. But then what do Maggie and Ike decide? Ike's like, hey, listen, you already bought the dress. We got the venue booked. Just marry me instead of Bob. Oh, excuse me, what? That's horrible. And it's like a day and a half away. Imagine your fiance breaks up with you and the new dude is like already living in the house that you paid for. Isn't that a little messed up?
Well, yeah, and I mean, Bob at the end is just okay with it.
You may be listening to this podcast far in the future, but right now we're in 2020 in the middle of the COVID pandemic. And I just want to say, if Bob can survive Runaway Bride, we can all collectively get to the end of 2020.
We can't come soon enough.
What's your honorable mention?
My honorable mention is the top 5 things you'll find in a small town.
Ooh, I like this.
Restaurants close early.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows everyone and all of their dirty business and laundry. Everyone owns their own stores. There's no big box stores.
That's number 3, yeah.
People from big cities always think that people from small cities or small towns ride animals places or use them as modes of transportation.
Yeah, I know 5.
Okay, what's 5?
Number 5 is that there will always be a crusty but lovable restaurant owner who ends up falling in love with a hotel. Because this town is the same as Stars Hollow from Gilmore Girls. Rest my case.
All right, I'll give it to you. It's very similar.
We got what should have beens.
What should have beens?
Do you have any? That's okay, because I have 4 what should have beens for this movie.
Oh, I hope Bob's in there.
Because Maggie runs away or breaks up with 4 different guys.
Oh, I like this.
So I've got what should have beens for all of them.
Okay, go.
Well, most of them. Because Father Brian Norris, he ended up with God.
He did.
So that's fine. His what should have been is God, and he found him.
Yes.
We've got 3 left, starting with Gil. The musician turned auto mechanic Maggie ran away from. He should end up with... he should end up with Lorelai Gilmore from the Gilmore Girls. Because like I said, I'm pretty convinced this town is right beside Stars Hollow. Also, does Gil not feel a lot like Luke from Stars Hollow and the Gilmore Girls?
Luke's crusty, though.
The rough around the edges business owners. Gil's nice, but he's still kind of gritty. He's a small town, gritty business owner.
All right, I'll take it.
Anyways,
Fine.
Bob,
I still don't think it's the Luke vibe, but that's okay.
Okay, it's close. Bob should end up with himself because after going through such a horrifying breakup, this guy needs time to process. I hope Bob still goes on that hiking trip to where the Himalayas.
But he finds somebody in the end.
He had this horrible breakup. Bob needs time for himself. She might be the one, but he needs a moment.
Okay, so she's the rebound at the moment.
Well, she's the rebound, but we don't want her to be the rebound. We want Bob to take his time.
I think the way they played it out was that it's his forever.
Yeah, that's how they played it out. I don't like it, though. Because after a breakup like that, you're just going to want to bang something.
So he needs to find himself in the Himalayas.
And then we got Bug Guy. Does he not look somewhat familiar? Just in terms of the archetype of a person. He kind of looks like one of those NPC Pokemon trainers from like the classic Pokemon games, like Pokemon Red or Blue. And he's also in love. Does he not look like them?
Yes.
Yes. It's also, like I said, 99, Pokemon's a thing. He's also in love with bugs and nature and animals. So Bug Guy George's what should have been is that he should end up with Erica, the fictional gym leader of Celadon City Gym.
Oh my God.
She specializes in grass-type Pokemon, and I think they would get along famously.
You went deep for this one. Like
I love
into the capsule. Wow. Okay, this one's by far my favorite.
Really? Okay,
yeah,
all right.
I like this one. Okay.
And now we got, a thirst factor. Give me Richard Gere's thirst factor first.
7.5.
Is Richard Gere's sole role in life to give early graying men more self-confidence? Because this dude is like, 51?
Mm-hmm.
Fully, not even gray. It's mostly white hair.
Yeah,
and people
it's nice,
love it.
Though.
You found him attractive.
Yes.
I don't find him attractive at all.
Overall?
Rewatchability?
9.
Only a 9.
Wow, you have it higher?
Well, okay, here's how I'm breaking it down. Because I have Crazy Stupid Love as my all-time most rewatchable rom-com. I think I gave it a 9.7.
Oh, okay.
My Best Friend's Wedding might have been a 9.5. I think this slots in somewhere in the middle.
Oh, I would agree, because I think I like this one better than My Best Friend's Wedding.
A little tiny bit better.
Yes, okay.
I'm going to put her on 9.6.
I agree.
Not quite Crazy Stupid Love, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say a 9.5.
And this has been the Rom-Com Rewind of... I was about to say My Best Friend's Wedding. Runaway Bride. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts so that you're updated when we do new podcasts. And leave us a review. We love those. We just joined in with Stingray Podcasts. And we'd really like to be able to show them, hey, people like our shit, guys. As well, follow us on Spotify. Follow us on Instagram if you want to get involved in conversations about future podcast episodes. And like we said, stingraypodcast.com is also where we live.
Thanks for listening.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.